Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. I'm really glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe today felt long and heavy, or maybe you're simply someone who likes to drift off to gentle thoughts about the world rather than counting sheep. Either way, this moment is for you. There's nowhere else you need to be. Nothing waiting for you right now. Just this quiet space and the slow sound of ideas moving like water. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of the ocean at dusk. The sky is dimming into soft blues and silvers, and the sea stretches out endlessly in front of you. It doesn't rush. It doesn't demand your attention. It's been here far longer than any worry you're carrying, and it will remain long after those worries have dissolved. The ocean is patient like that. It knows how to hold things without judgment. As you settle in, let your breathing begin to mirror the waves. A slow inhale, like water arriving at the shore. A gentle exhale, like it's slipping back again. There's no need to control it perfectly. Just let it happen. Your thoughts don't need to disappear. They can be like shells resting in shallow water, slowly sinking, becoming quieter, heavier, less urgent with each passing moment. You might notice your body starting to feel lighter, as if gravity itself has softened, as though you're floating just beneath the surface of warm, calm water, supported, held. There is nothing for you to do, nothing to fix, nothing to remember. If your attention drifts away from my words, that's not a problem. That's exactly what this space is for. You can listen closely, or you can let the sound wash over you like a distant tide. Tonight, we're going to wander through some of the most relaxing facts about the ocean, not as lessons, not as things to memorize, but as gentle observations. Little currents of thought that move slowly, calmly, without urgency. If you fall asleep halfway through a sentence, that's perfectly fine. The ocean won't mind, neither will I. If you enjoy this kind of quiet journey, you might consider returning another night or subscribing so it's easy to find again. But that's something for another time. Right now, you don't need to decide anything. Just rest. In a moment, we'll begin near the ocean surface, where light still lingers and waves roll gently. And then, little by little, we'll drift deeper. Each idea will arrive softly, connect naturally to the next, and fade when it's ready. Like the sea itself, this journey has no sharp edges. Only slow movement, only calm. So get comfortable. Let your eyes rest. Let your breathing slow. The ocean has been waiting a very long time, and it's in no hurry at all. If Earth could be tucked in at night, the ocean would be its blanket. A vast, patient covering that wraps gently around the planet, leaving only quiet islands of land peeking through. Most of Earth's surface rests beneath water, and there's something deeply comforting about that scale. The ocean doesn't rush to fill space. It already has. It spreads out calmly, shaping climates, softening temperatures, and giving life a place to begin and continue. When you picture the planet from far away, the blue comes first, steady and reassuring, like a reminder that something large and ancient is always holding things together. And beneath that wide blue surface, much of the ocean remains unseen. There are places no human eyes have ever looked upon directly, not because they are forbidden, but because they are quiet, distant, and undisturbed. You can imagine them like darkened hallways in an endless house, or unopened letters resting peacefully on a shelf. The unknown here isn't threatening, it's simply untouched. These hidden spaces have existed for millions of years without needing attention, perfectly content in their stillness. As you drift deeper into those unseen places, the water begins to feel heavier. Pressure increases slowly, layer by layer, like a thick, comforting blanket being gently laid over everything. Down below, the ocean learns how to be still. Sound fades. Motion slows. The weight isn't harsh or sudden. It's steady and even, pressing softly from all sides. This pressure doesn't crush the world, it holds it together. It creates an environment where sharp edges disappear and everything moves with deliberate calm. Life, surprisingly, adapts beautifully to this quiet weight. Deep sea creatures don't struggle against the darkness or the cold. They accept it. They grow slowly, conserve energy, and exist without urgency. Some drift like thoughts half formed. Others glow faintly, like living lanterns. They don't search for abundance. They wait patiently for what arrives. Adaptation here looks less like effort and more like rest, a gentle agreement with the environment rather than a fight against it. In the deep ocean, light doesn't come from the sun. It's made instead. Bioluminescence flickers softly in the dark, tiny chemical reactions creating glimmers of blue and green. There are stars beneath the waves, forming slow, moving constellations that appear and fade without ceremony. This light isn't bright or blinding. It's quiet, purposeful, sometimes used to communicate, sometimes simply to exist. In the darkness, even a small glow feels like enough. And eventually, as all rhythms do, our thoughts rise again toward the surface. Here, the ocean listens patiently to the moon. The sea answers when the moon calls, lifting and lowering itself in reliable, ancient patterns. Tides move in and out like a steady breath, guided by gravity and time rather than impulse. Night after night, century after century, the cycle repeats. There's comfort in that predictability, a reminder that some things move slowly on purpose and they will continue long after we've fallen asleep. Some waves begin their journey days before they ever reach the shore. Far out at sea, winds brush across open water like invisible hands, passing along gentle messages of motion. That energy travels calmly, without urgency, rolling forward mile after mile until it finally arrives as a wave breaking near land. The wave may seem sudden when it reaches the beach, but its story is long and unhurried, shaped by patience rather than force. And yet, just beneath that moving surface, the ocean often rests. Not far below the waves, the water grows noticeably calmer, like a quiet room hidden beneath a busy street. The motion above doesn't disturb the stillness below. It's a comforting reminder that calm can exist even when the surface of life feels busy. Peace doesn't require everything to stop. Sometimes it simply waits a little deeper. As you continue drifting downward, you begin to notice that the ocean is layered gently by temperature. Warm water stays closer to the sunlit surface, while colder water settles beneath, forming soft gradients rather than sharp divides. The ocean keeps its warmth close to the light, wrapped like a layered blanket. Change here is gradual and soothing, never abrupt, unfolding at a pace that feels natural and safe. Within these layers, vast ocean currents flow like slow, steady rivers. There are rivers in the ocean that never touch land, moving quietly across entire basins. These currents don't rush. They carry warmth and nutrients the way breath carries air through the body, rhythmically, purposefully, without strain. It's motion that feels thoughtful, almost meditative. Through this gentle movement, the ocean helps regulate Earth's climate. It absorbs warmth when there is plenty and releases it slowly over time, acting like a patient caretaker. The ocean remembers warmth long after the sun sets, storing and sharing it with quiet consistency. This steady exchange brings balance, not through effort, but through presence. And all of this has been happening for a very long time. The ocean was old before bones existed, shaping the planet while life was still learning how to begin. Like a storyteller with wrinkled hands, it speaks slowly, carving coastlines and guiding climates over billions of years. Deep time here doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels reassuring. Something ancient is still gently doing what it has always done. Some of the largest structures on Earth are made by very small lives. Coral reefs grow slowly, one tiny contribution at a time, until entire underwater cities take shape. Each small organism adds its part without knowing the whole, and over long stretches of time, patience turns into structure. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is wasted. The reef simply becomes what it's meant to be. Within these living structures, the ocean gathers life where there is shelter. Coral reefs support an incredible variety of species, offering protection, food, and quiet places to rest. It feels like a bustling neighborhood without noise or competition. Life here overlaps gently, coexisting in a way that feels balanced rather than crowded. Everything seems to fit. Many of the reef's residents move together. Fish often travel in schools, hundreds of bodies flowing as one calm thought through the water. Their movement is smooth and coordinated, like ribbons drifting in a current. Togetherness here isn't chaotic. It's soothing. Shared direction creates ease, and ease creates safety. Some ocean animals take that sense of direction much farther. Whales, turtles, and fish migrate vast distances, following ancient paths written into the water itself. The ocean remembers where to go, even when there are no visible landmarks. These journeys unfold slowly, guided by instinct rather than urgency, as if the planet itself is quietly pointing the way. Part of that guidance comes from subtle magnetic cues carried through the sea. The planet whispers directions through the water, tracing invisible lines that some animals can sense without effort. There's comfort in knowing that guidance doesn't always need to be loud to be reliable. Sometimes it's enough just to trust what can't be seen. And throughout all of this movement, sound travels far beneath the waves. The ocean listens for a long time. Low, gentle noises drift across great distances, lingering softly like hummed notes. Sound here isn't an interruption, it's a presence, a reminder that even in vast spaces, nothing is truly alone. Let yourself pause here for a moment. Imagine floating just beneath the ocean's surface, where the light softens and spreads gently in all directions. Your body feels suspended, supported without effort, as if the water knows exactly how to hold you. With each slow breath, thoughts rise like small bubbles and quietly disappear before they reach the top. If details are already fading, that's perfectly fine. You don't need to hold on to anything. Your mind can wander. Sleep can come early. Nothing important will be missed. And when you're ready, you can begin to sink again, slowly, comfortably, drifting back into the ocean's quieter depths. The ocean has calm days and restless nights of its own. It carries its own weather, shaped by shifting temperatures, moving currents, and distant storms. These changes aren't sudden or violent by nature. They're more like moods passing through. A storm might wrinkle the surface for a time, but it doesn't last forever. The ocean allows change to arrive, express itself, and then move on, returning to balance without resentment. No matter how loud the surface becomes, the deep stays calm. Even the strongest storms barely reach far below the waves. Down there, it's like a quiet room beneath rolling thunder, steady and undisturbed. This contrast feels reassuring. It reminds us that turbulence doesn't always reach the deepest parts of things. There is often a layer of stillness waiting beneath the noise. In those deep places, temperatures change very slowly. Cold, down here, means patient. The deep sea holds onto its chill like a cellar of time, preserving conditions over centuries. This slowness protects what lives there, allowing stability to settle in and remain. Nothing fluctuates quickly. Everything has time. Some ocean creatures live in harmony with this pace, stretching their lives across decades or even centuries. Certain sharks and clams grow old at ocean speed, their heartbeats slow and steady, matching the rhythm around them. Long life here isn't dramatic. It's quiet persistence, continuing simply because there's no need to hurry. Growth in the ocean often follows the same gentle pattern. Limited resources encourage gradual development, like rings forming patiently inside a tree. In the ocean, there is no rush to become anything more than what you are right now. Becoming is something that unfolds slowly over time, and often survival here is shared. Some ocean species rely on cooperation, forming silent agreements that benefit everyone involved. Shared shelter, shared effort, quiet support. The ocean often survives together, reminding us that connection doesn't always need words. The ocean holds on to sunlight long after dusk. Throughout the day, as the sun moves slowly overhead, its energy settles into the water like warmth sinking into a smooth stone. The ocean absorbs this light patiently, without urgency, storing it quietly beneath the surface. There's something soothing about that idea. That warmth doesn't need to be used right away. It can simply be held, resting until the time is right. When night arrives, the ocean breathes warmth back into the air. It releases what it has stored slowly, like a long, gentle exhale. Heat drifts upward, almost unnoticed, softening the coolness of the night. Nothing is forced. Nothing is rushed. The ocean lets go the same way it took in, gradually, calmly, without effort. Because of this steady exchange, Coastal climates are often gentler places to be. Living near water often means softer seasons, fewer extremes. The ocean acts like a steady hand resting nearby, smoothing sharp changes before they can fully form. Its presence alone creates balance, simply by being close. Part of that balance comes from the way water holds heat differently than air. Water remembers warmth. It changes temperature slowly, resisting sudden shifts. This thermal memory feels comforting, like emotions that settle instead of spike. The ocean doesn't forget quickly, and that helps everything around it remain steady. Through its vast currents, the ocean moves heat around the planet. It shares what it has, carrying warmth from one place to another, like a shared blanket spread gently across the earth. This generosity isn't intentional. It's just the way things flow. All of this unfolds over long timescales. Ocean cycles take years, decades, even centuries to complete. The ocean is never in a hurry. Time here stretches out, wide and forgiving, inviting everything else to slow down too. The ocean remembers the mountains. Its saltiness comes from ancient rock, slowly broken down and carried by rivers over immense stretches of time. Dissolved minerals make their quiet journey from land to sea until entire mountains exist only as traces in the water. Everything eventually blends, given enough patience. Not all oceans taste the same, though. Salinity changes gently from place to place, shaped by evaporation, rainfall, and fresh water flowing in. These differences are subtle, like faint shifts in flavor. Variety exists here without chaos, each region finding its own balance. Salt also affects how water moves. Saltier water is denser, heavier, and prefers to sink. You can imagine it like heavy curtains settling downward, choosing rest over motion. Sinking, in this case, isn't falling. It's settling into a quieter place. These differences drive the deep ocean's global circulation. The ocean is always traveling, even when it seems still. Vast currents loop slowly around the planet, like a steady heartbeat that never stops. This motion happens in the background, offering comfort without demanding attention. Cold water, especially in the depths, holds more oxygen. Cold water keeps breath longer, preserving it carefully. This stored oxygen supports life far below the surface, where everything moves at a slower pace. Breath itself feels calmer here. And all the while, the ocean exchanges gases with the air above. The sea and sky breathe together, trading oxygen and carbon dioxide in a slow, endless conversation. This quiet connection reminds us that nothing exists alone. Everything is gently linked, moving together without effort. Let yourself drift now, without needing to know where you are. There is no up or down here, no forward or back. You're floating in open water with your eyes gently closed, light dimming into a soft, soothing blue. Sound feels muffled and distant, as if the world has moved a little farther away. Even drifting like this, you are still being held. The ocean does not drop what it carries. You don't need to arrive anywhere. Sleep can come quietly, without announcement. And when you're ready, we'll begin moving again, softly, into the gentle science of light beneath the sea. Light grows tired as it travels downward. As sunlight enters the ocean, it begins to fade almost immediately, softened by the water it passes through. It's like curtains slowly closing, dimming the brightness until only a gentle glow remains. Darkness here isn't sudden or empty. It arrives gradually, like rest after a long day. The deeper you go, the more the light is allowed to let go. Red says goodbye first. Different colors disappear at different depths, stepping away one by one as the water absorbs them. Reds and oranges fade quickly, followed by yellows and greens, until mostly blue remains. This letting go feels unhurried, as if each color knows exactly when it's time to leave. Nothing is forced. Everything fades in order. The sea wears the color of the sky. The ocean appears blue because water absorbs the warmer colors of light and scatters the cooler blue wavelengths back toward our eyes. It's a borrowed beauty, a reflection of what surrounds it. The ocean doesn't insist on its own color. It gently mirrors what the light gives. When the ocean is calm, the sky rests on it. Smooth water becomes a mirror, reflecting clouds, stars, and fading daylight. Glassy stillness doubles the horizon, creating a sense of balance that feels almost unreal. In this quiet reflection, stillness itself becomes something beautiful. Sunsets linger longer over water. As the sun lowers, light travels through more atmosphere, stretching colors into slow melts of gold, pink, and deep blue. These endings take their time, refusing to rush. Evening feels wider here, as if the day is easing itself to sleep. Even at night, the ocean glows. Moonlight, distant stars, and soft bioluminescence scatter faint sparks across the darkness. The night sea is rarely completely black. Darkness is softened by presence, by small reminders that light never fully disappears. It simply becomes quieter. Most of the ocean prefers to whisper. Despite its size, much of the sea is filled with long stretches of low, gentle sound. There are wide underwater spaces where noise barely stirs at all, like a resting room with the lights dimmed. This quiet isn't empty or tense. It's simply the ocean's natural state. Silence here feels wide and soft, as though sound itself has chosen to slow down and lie still. When sound does appear, much of it comes from living things. Life makes noise, even when no one is listening. Fish click softly, shrimp snap like tiny pebbles, and whales release long, low calls that stretch through the water. These sounds aren't performances, they're expressions of presence, quiet conversations carried on without any need for an audience. Some of those conversations travel very far. Whale songs, especially low-frequency ones, can move across entire ocean basins. Some songs take hours to arrive, drifting slowly like music unbothered by time. The notes don't rush to be heard. They simply move, patient and steady, until they fade naturally into the distance. Repetition is common in ocean communication. The ocean likes to repeat itself. Patterns loop and return, like lullabies sung over and over again. Familiar rhythms bring comfort both to the creatures that create them and to the spaces they move through. Nothing new needs to happen for meaning to exist. Perhaps that's why humans often find ocean sounds so relaxing. Our bodies recognize the ocean. The gentle rhythm of waves can feel like rocking, like warmth delivered through sound. There's a sense of familiarity without memory, as if something very old is being remembered quietly. After all, we all began in water. Life on land traces its roots back to the sea, an ancestral home, a first cradle. The ocean isn't just something outside us, it's where everything started. The shore is never finished. Where land meets sea, waves constantly reshape the edges of the world. Coastlines are rewritten again and again, softened by erosion that happens without conflict or force. Change here doesn't feel destructive. It feels natural, expected, and calm. Sand is time made visible. Each grain began as rock or shell, broken down slowly over countless moments. These tiny fragments carry long stories, ground small enough to rest gently between your fingers. Smallness, here, is not insignificance. It's history made quiet. Along these sandy edges, beaches support unique ecosystems. Some lives exist between waves and sky, thriving in spaces that are neither fully land nor fully sea. These in-between places hold a delicate balance, where adaptation becomes an everyday rhythm. Tides take turns showing the shoreline. As the water moves in and out, different environments are revealed and hidden again, like curtains opening and closing. The same place can feel entirely different within a single day, and yet remain familiar. The ocean keeps time with the moon. Tides follow predictable rhythms, rising and falling in response to distant gravity. This cosmic timing feels steady and reliable, a reminder that some patterns don't need supervision to continue. And through it all, the shore breathes. Twice a day, water moves in and out like a slow inhale and exhale. Breathing isn't rushed, it simply happens. A universal pattern, repeating softly, inviting everything nearby to rest along with it. You may notice yourself floating near the shoreline now, night wrapped softly around you. Slow waves brush in and out, without asking anything from you. The boundary between waking and dreaming grows thinner, more flexible, easier to cross. If you drift off here, that's natural. You don't need to stay awake for the rest of the journey. The ocean will continue without you, steady and patient as always. And if you're still listening, you're welcome to wander onward, easing deeper into quieter water, where everything moves a little more slowly. Out here, the ocean forgets about land. Far from the coast, the water stretches endlessly in every direction, behaving more uniformly, without interruption. There are no edges to lean against, no familiar landmarks, just endless blue, repeating calmly. In this sameness, there's a sense of freedom. Nothing pulls too hard in any one direction. Most of life lives far from shore. The open ocean is Earth's largest habitat, a living sky turned upside down. There's room here for countless forms of life, spread across vast distances, supported by a space so large it never feels crowded. Much of the ocean is empty on purpose. Life in the open sea is widely spaced, scattered like stars across a dark sky. The quiet distances between organisms aren't lonely, they're calming. Space itself becomes a kind of shelter. Within that space, tiny plankton carry the most weight. These drifting specks form the foundation of ocean life, an invisible support system moving with the currents. The smallest lives quietly hold everything else up. Much of the air begins in water. Ocean plants, especially phytoplankton, produce enormous amounts of oxygen through gentle, continuous photosynthesis. These unseen forests breathe steadily without asking for thanks. Most of this work happens near the surface, where light can reach. Life gathers in a thin, glowing skin at the top of the sea. Gentle limits shape beauty here, guiding growth softly rather than forcing it. Down here, food arrives like a rare letter. Below the sunlit zone, very little organic material makes its way into the deep. What does arrive drifts slowly, like sparse snowfall, settling gently after long journeys from the surface. This scarcity encourages patience. Nothing expects abundance. Everything waits calmly for what comes, accepting long pauses in between. In the deep, saving energy is a form of wisdom. Many animals here move slowly and breathe sparingly, their metabolisms tuned to conservation rather than speed. Long pauses stretch between movements, between meals, between moments. Stillness becomes a strategy, and rest becomes a way of staying alive. Because of this, deep-sea creatures often move very slowly. Nothing rushes down here. Motion is deliberate and minimal, like drifting leaves that turn only when the current asks them to. Slowness feels peaceful rather than limiting, a natural response to a world that rewards patience. Many deep-sea animals also have soft bodies. High pressure makes rigid structures unnecessary, allowing gentle forms to float and bend instead of resist. Hardness isn't always necessary. Yielding becomes strength, and flexibility becomes comfort. Some creatures go a step further by becoming nearly invisible. Transparency helps animals disappear, their ghost-like outlines blending seamlessly into the water. Some survive by nearly vanishing, finding safety in not being seen at all. And even when creatures aren't fully transparent, camouflage in the ocean is subtle. Muted tones and whispered colors blend softly with the surroundings. Nothing down here wants attention. Quiet blending feels like calm. The planet dips inward here. Ocean trenches descend farther than any other places on Earth. Vast valleys where the surface feels unimaginably distant. These depths feel mysterious, not because they are threatening, but because they are so far removed from everyday experience. As depth increases, pressure becomes immense. Weight becomes constant, pressing evenly from every direction. This pressure doesn't feel sharp or violent. It feels like heavy stillness, a compressive calm that holds everything gently in place. And yet, life waits patiently, even here. Organisms have been found thriving in the deepest trenches, adapting quietly without urgency. Endurance here looks like acceptance, not struggle. Life simply continues, one slow moment at a time. Not all life needs the sun. In the deep ocean, some ecosystems rely on chemicals instead of light. Chemosynthesis allows organisms to feed on minerals released from the earth itself, drawing energy from warm breaths rising from below. These warm breaths come from hydrothermal vents, underwater chimneys that release heated, mineral-rich water into the cold depths. The earth whispers heat into the ocean, offering warmth in unlikely places. From these vents, minerals spread like a gentle snowfall, nourishing entire ecosystems. Even stone can feed life. Support arrives quietly, drifting outward and sustaining communities that move at the slowest pace imaginable. The ocean floor is always moving, just very slowly. Beneath the water, tectonic plates shift and stretch over immense spans of time, reshaping the sea floor without sound or urgency. It's like a mattress slowly adjusting beneath someone sleeping. Change happening so gently, it's never felt in the moment. This kind of movement doesn't announce itself. It simply continues, patient and steady. Hidden within that movement are vast underwater mountains. The tallest landscapes are mostly unseen, forming long ridges that wind around the planet like a backbone beneath the sea. These hidden spines rise quietly, supporting the surface world without ever asking to be noticed. Grandeur here exists without display. Along these ridges, underwater volcanoes are common. Fire exists even underwater, softened and muffled by the surrounding sea. Lava meets cold water and cools quickly, turning heat into solid ground. It's a quiet kind of creation, where opposites meet and balance each other. From this process, new ocean crust forms continuously. The Earth is always repairing itself, knitting fresh seafloor from cooled lava. Renewal isn't rare here. It's constant, unfolding slowly, without celebration. Because of this steady renewal, ocean crust is younger than the continents. The ocean floor forgets faster, rewritten again and again, as old material is replaced by new. Youth here comes from repetition, not speed. Eventually, old seafloor sinks back into the earth. What sinks is not lost. Through subduction, crust returns to the mantle, completing a gentle cycle of return to origin. The ocean stirs the planet. It plays a quiet role in keeping Earth's chemistry balanced, gently blending minerals and elements like a vast mixing bowl that never stops turning. Balance here doesn't require awareness. It happens naturally, simply because the ocean is always there. The ocean also remembers carbon. Large amounts dissolve into the water and settle into the depths, stored in quiet vaults over long periods of time. This memory doesn't feel heavy or burdensome. It's just another example of the ocean holding things patiently. As this carbon and other materials move downward, tiny particles drift through the water column. It snows in the ocean. Marine snow falls slowly, flakes of organic matter descending like nourishment carried on a soft current. Falling here isn't loss, it's delivery. Deep sea life depends on this falling debris. Many organisms far below the surface survive on these delayed gifts from above. Nothing is wasted. Distance doesn't break connection, it only slows it. Nutrients are recycled again and again. The ocean rarely throws anything away. Materials move in closed loops, reused and repurposed endlessly, creating continuity that feels calming rather than mechanical. Through all of this, stability in the ocean comes from movement. Stillness is made of motion. Like a rocking cradle, constant gentle flow maintains balance, allowing the system to rest while never truly stopping. Let yourself be carried now. No swimming, no effort, no direction to choose. A slow current moves beneath you, steady and gentle, and your body follows without resistance. Your limbs feel loose and weightless, drifting easily. Your breath begins to match the water's pace, slow and even, as if the ocean itself is breathing for you. Being carried like this is safe. Nothing needs to be controlled. Nothing needs your attention. Even your focus can float away, coming and going like the tide. And as you drift, we'll ease into the final thoughts together. Quieter now, softer, like the last light before sleep. All shores share the same water. The ocean connects every continent, wrapping the planet in one unbroken fabric of blue. Though lands appear separate, the sea between them is continuous, a single thread looping quietly around the world. Distance softens when you realize the same water touches every coast. Some water never stops traveling. A single drop of seawater may journey for centuries, carried by currents along winding paths without maps or destinations. Time becomes distance here, measured not in moments, but in slow movement across the globe. The ocean takes its time to become one. Water mixes very slowly, stirred gently over hundreds or even thousands of years. This patient blending creates unity without urgency, reminding us that togetherness doesn't need to be rushed. Faraway oceans feel strangely familiar. Despite vast distances, most seawater is chemically similar across the planet. There's comfort in that sameness, a shared signature that makes every ocean feel quietly connected to the rest. The past still floats here. Seawater holds traces of ancient Earth, elements carried forward from the planet's earliest days. History drifts lightly, dissolved and present without weight. And through it all, the ocean stays awake for us. Its processes continue through every night, like a soft, endless lullaby. While we rest, the sea keeps watch, steady and unbroken, waiting calmly for morning. Tomorrow, the ocean will do this again. Each day, it follows the same gentle rhythms of tides, light and temperature, repeating them like a lullaby on quiet replay. The sun rises and sets, the water warms and cools, the tides breathe in and out. This repetition isn't dull, it's reassuring. Knowing that something vast moves the same way every day can feel like safety, like a dependable metronome keeping time while everything else drifts. The ocean also notices the seasons quietly. As the year turns, temperatures shift, currents adjust, and life responds with subtle changes. These transitions are soft, like slow wardrobe changes rather than dramatic transformations. Nothing snaps abruptly from one state to another. Change happens without disruption, easing the ocean gently from one season into the next. Some rhythms stretch even farther, Certain ocean patterns repeat over decades, not days or months. Cycles like El Niño move like long breaths or slow pendulums, taking years to complete a single motion. Some rhythms take decades to finish a thought. This is patience on a planetary scale, reminding us that not everything needs quick resolution. In this way, the ocean is predictable in its unpredictability. Details vary, waves change, currents shift, but the overall patterns remain steady. The ocean surprises us in familiar ways. There's comfort in that trusted uncertainty, where change is expected, but stability remains beneath it. Nothing in the ocean is late. It does not hurry. Every process unfolds at exactly the pace it needs. Currents take their time. Cycles complete themselves when they're ready. This unhurried motion offers quiet permission to slow down, to stop measuring moments so tightly. To human senses, the ocean can feel timeless. Changes often occur beyond what we can easily notice, unfolding over spans too large to track. Time moves differently here, like a clock without hands. There's relief in that, a release from urgency and deadlines, and still, life persists through constant change. Ocean ecosystems bend and adapt like reeds in a current, responding without resistance. The ocean keeps going by adapting, not by fighting. Survival here looks soft, flexible, and calm. The ocean also renews itself endlessly. Water evaporates, rises, cools, and returns again, looping through the world in continuous cycles. The ocean is always coming back to itself. Renewal feels less like starting over and more like returning home. While you sleep, the ocean works quietly. Its processes continue through the night, circulating heat, moving nutrients, breathing with the sky. While you rest, the ocean keeps watch, a quiet caretaker tending the planet without needing recognition. And when you wake, the ocean will still be there. The ocean is not going anywhere. Its continuity stretches beyond individual moments, offering comfort in its steady presence, like an unchanged horizon, waiting patiently for morning. Now, the journey begins to settle, like the final ebb of a wave sliding gently back into the sea. There's nothing left to reach for, nothing more to follow closely. If you think back over where we've been, it might feel like you traveled nowhere at all, and everywhere at once. The ocean has simply been moving in the background, the way it always does, steady and unbothered, whether we pay attention or not. You can imagine yourself resting on the seafloor now, supported completely. The ground beneath you is cool and calm, holding you without effort. Above, the water grows darker, a deep, peaceful blue. Bays that once felt close now fade into the distance, their motion barely noticeable. Sound softens, space widens. Your thoughts don't need to line up anymore. They can loosen and dissolve, melting into the surrounding calm. You don't need to remember the facts or the order they came in. None of that matters now. Rest was always the goal. Sleep was always welcome. If your eyes are heavy, you can let them stay that way. If sleep is already pulling you under, you don't need to resist. Falling asleep here is natural. The ocean doesn't require witnesses. It will continue its slow work without you. Tides rising and falling, currents drifting, light fading and returning. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment. Thank you for letting your mind wander gently through these slow ideas. If you ever feel like returning, another night, another time, the ocean will be here. These calm journeys will be waiting, unhurried, just like the sea itself. For now, there's nothing left to do, nothing left to hold. Just rest, like the ocean closing its eyes, calm, patient, and endlessly present.